Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told how to voice the radio. So today we need to look at the first official reveals from Shrouded Fable. The first cards shown in English from Shrouded Fable. Now, technically, we have had some promos like the Petron from the free pack blister, or the Petron from the Elite Trainer box, and of course we've got those absolutely stunning Greninja and Kingdra that are coming in these special illustration rare collections, but they're promos. They're not actual proper regular cards in the proper regular set, so I'm not counting them. Sorry about that. What we've got here are actual full-on cards from the set, the first cards that have gone and been revealed from the set, and I'm not going to sit and pretend that they're the most exciting cards in the set, but I am going to pretend that they tell us important things about the set, because they totally do. Now, these were revealed on the Pokémon TCG Twitter account, and actually, I've got to give some love to whoever's doing these. Okay, I know who's doing the reveals. They're awesome. Got to give them some love. Because firstly, they've shown the Drowsy with they don't know we're about to start showcasing Shrouded Fable cards, and just the artwork is perfect for that. But then they actually went and showed one more, because Juice Profit replied, "Show me a Gen 2 or Gen 3 card from the set, please." And they went and showed Houndour as well. So yeah, did not really expect them to just reply to somebody being like, "I would like one from this gen." But they totally did. Could we have got them to reveal the entire set if we'd have kept asking questions like that? I don't know. But I like to think we would have been able to. And here's the thing. Neither Houndour nor Drowsy are particularly exciting cards. But that's not the point. The point is that now that we have some cards, we can extrapolate from this some very useful information. Now, one important point, I suppose, is that SFA is the official abbreviation. Of course, Shrouded Fable, we could have been thinking SHF, but that's Shining Fates. We've literally already had SHF, that was Shining Fates. We were never going to get that again. So SFA, that is the official abbreviation. I don't know how much you guys care about this. I genuinely do care about this, because it makes my life easier in multiple ways when I'm using the abbreviations. So for me, it's actually important, but I think for most people, it's probably not so important. Hey ho. But the numbering of the cards is very, very important. So Houndour, for instance, is number 7 out of 64, and that doesn't really mean very much initially, until we look at the Japanese version of Houndour and find out that it is also number 7, and it is also out of 64. And now all of a sudden we're going, well, hang on. Does that mean we're literally just getting the exact same set with the exact same cards in the exact same order, which never happens, incidentally? Well, the good news is we've got a second card. We've got a Drowsy that we can use to potentially give more information or dispel the rumor entirely. And the English Drowsy is number 16 out of 64. And the Japanese Drowsy is number 16 out of 64. And that doesn't prove it yet. That doesn't guarantee that we've got the same cards in the same order, such that we've got an identical set. But it does start looking an awful lot like it now, doesn't it? Because the fact of the matter is, if we look at the press release, the press release gives us some useful information, but it really does not tell us everything. The press release gave us the number of all the different types of fancy cards, your illustration rares, etc. As a side note, I did a video the other day showing you all the secret rares from Shrouded Fable. Although it's not confirmed or guaranteed or any of that, I showed my working in the video. I feel extremely confident I'm right about this. It's not actually quite as simple as we might think, but go check out that video. I explain it all in there. But if we go to the website tells us number of cards over 95. There are over 95 cards in the set, but it doesn't tell us much else. It doesn't tell us how we break it down. And this is where things get very, very interesting. Because with 64 main cards, and we know there's 64 main cards, that is now confirmed. We know there are 64 main cards in a Japanese set. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and suggest that card number 64 in the set is going to be Knight Academy, the stadium that lets you put a card from your hand on top of your deck, which is actually like legitimately a good card that helps a bunch of different Pokemon, and that is going to be our main set of 64 cards. So then we get to, alright, what about the other 31? Well, it's actually over 31, because we know that when we're numbering English sets, it didn't used to be the case, but we know that nowadays when we're numbering English sets, it only includes the regular cards, none of the secret rares. So if we look at Twilight Masquerade, for instance, the most recent set, the last numbered card in the set is Legacy Energy, which is 167 out of 167. But then we've got all the other cards. That doesn't include illustration rares like Dipplin. It doesn't include your full art Pokemon like Luxray. It doesn't include your full art supporters like Lucian. It doesn't include your special illustration rare Pokemon like Ursaluna, or your special illustration rare supporter cards like Kieran, or your gold cards like Buddy Buddy Poffin. None of those count. None of those actually work here. And hang on a second, we know from the press release that there are going to be 15 illustration rare, 10 ultra rare, that is full art, 5 special illustration rare, and 5 hyper rare gold cards, which when you add them all up together gives us 35. If you add 35 to 64, you get 99 cards. And I am extremely confident that we are stopping at 99 cards. And there are several reasons why I'm confident we're stopping at 99 cards. One of them is just the fact that it says over 95. And generally speaking, over 95 means between 95 and 100. If there were 101 cards, it would say over 100. But if there were 100 cards, I don't think they would say over 95. I think they would just say 100. There are definitely no more than one card unaccounted for, because if there was 101, it would say over 100 new cards, and it doesn't. It says over 95. We know for a fact now that there is a main set of 64 cards. We know for a fact that there is a minimum of 35 secret rare cards in addition to those 64. But because the website says over 95, I think we know for a fact that there are a maximum of 99 cards in the set. And 35 plus 64 equals 99. I think this means we have literally got the entire set for Shrouded Fable 100% confirmed at this stage. As far as I'm concerned, we have got the set list confirmed. And I've heard from a bunch of you going, yeah, Wassy, but come on, there could be some surprise new cards. And I don't think there can be. And the reason I don't think there can be any surprise new cards is because Pokemon have literally told us, here are the number of secret rares in the set. Here is the breakdown of how those secret rares are being divided. We know there are only 15 illustration rares, and, to give away what I told you in the video the other day, we know that this set is basically based on the Japanese set Night Wanderer. That's the one I've been comparing it to with the numbers. There are 12 illustration rares in Night Wanderer, and there is nothing to suggest that any of them have been removed from the set. We have got no information whatsoever which would suggest any of these illustration rares have been taken out of the set to be used elsewhere. If we look at something like Wild Force and Cyber Judge, for instance, well, that came over here as Temporal Forces, and in the Elite Trainer boxes, we got Fluttermane and Ironthorn's promos. So we knew that the 2 illustration rares were taken out of the set in Japan to be used as Elite Trainer box promos over here. We knew that had happened. We knew that in advance. We know that that's not happening here because our Elite Trainer box promo wasn't in Night Wanderer. And we know that 12 of them are from Night Wanderer, or at least I'm convinced there are. And then they left out the Loyal Free that should have been in Twilight Masquerade but weren't. But remember that Shrouded Fable is a Loyal Free themed set, so you take those illustration rares out of Mask of Change in Japan, put them in here instead, and that makes perfect sense. And oh look, there's 15. The only way there are some random unrevealed cards from Shrouded Fable is if they're taking cards that we're expecting from Night Wanderer, removing them to be used somewhere we have no idea where, and then bringing in extra cards that haven't been seen in Japan. And that is, I suppose, technically possible, but Occam's razor, ladies and gentlemen. What's more likely, that we have got the exact set list for Night Wanderer with the few extra cards that I showed you in the other video, which all make perfect sense, incidentally, or they're randomly taking cards from Night Wanderer that should be in Shrouded Fable, removing them to be used in an unnamed product we have no idea about, and bringing in cards that we haven't seen in Japan as English exclusives. It's not very likely, ladies and gentlemen. It's not very likely. As far as I'm concerned, we now know the entire set list for Shrouded Fable, because we know the secret rares I showed you the other day. We now have as good as confirmation that our main 64 card list is the same as Night Wanderer. Again, that's not 100% confirmed, but we've seen 2 cards that are in the exact same place as they were in Night Wanderer, and we got the same number of cards. I mean, come on, join the dots on that one. And because it says over 95 cards and we've got 99 confirmed, that basically tells us there aren't any more coming. So there we go. That's Shrouded Fable. Now it's over to you guys. Tell me which cards you're excited about. Tell me how good you think the set is going to be. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Unknown One, who's been a supporter of ours for a long time now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.